Hello, welcome to the Soulprint Weekly Pick Your Crystal reading. So today we're doing a blue theme. This is going to be for the week of May 1st through May 7th. And these are your choices. You have the blue and black crystal. You have this very light blue crystal. And you have the dark blue crystal. So take a moment and see which one or two or three may resonate with you. While you're doing that, I just quickly want to say thank you so much for your support of these readings. I'm glad that you are finding them helpful, insightful, entertaining. I really do appreciate your feedback. All right, here we go. Blue and black, light blue, blue. And let's get started. So we're going to start with this blue and black crystal. Let's see what we have. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Two of Cups. We have the Lovers. And we have the Chariot. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So, starting with the Ace of Swords. So you're talking about an energy here of, sort of strength, kind of, triumphing over, over adversity. Finding, knowing, understanding, utilizing, tapping into your own inner strength. Can be about finding mental clarity, creating that energy that allows you to stand very, very firmly in what very much looks like a new beginning or a new energy. You have the Two of Cups and the Lovers side by side. Now, I got to say, that's unusual. It's very rare for these two cards to come up side by side because, of course, the Two of Cups is about, a couple, a partnership, two people who, work well together, two people who are connected. The Lovers is, again, about a partnership, people who are connected, who come together. And you have the Chariot, which is about things moving forward. So I'm going to just start off with these two broad generalities, okay? There's very much an energy here of a change or a shift in your attitude with regards to partnerships. Perhaps you have been out of the dating scene for a long time. And perhaps you are feeling like maybe, you would actually like to bring that kind of energy, that kind of a partnership back into your life. One of the things that you will probably have discovered is that it almost always has almost everything to do with your own headspace, with knowing what you're looking for, knowing what you are prepared to give and what you are prepared to receive. It is about knowing that you have value that you can take into a relationship. There is a sense now of clarity that perhaps you have not had before. If you don't have that clarity and you're still looking for that kind of a relationship, then the very strong suggestion is that the clarity must come first. You have to know what you want. And listen, I am not talking about, tall, dark, and handsome, although that's always a bonus. What I'm talking about is, what does the relationship you want look like? Are you looking for a casual partnership? Are you looking for, a marriage or a live-in relationship? Are you looking for somebody to, go for coffee with, go to the movies with, just companionship? You need to have some clarity in your head about what it is you would like to receive, and almost more importantly, what it is you are prepared to give. The Chariot here, of course, is talking about moving forward. So, if you're not in a relationship, this could be part of the energy talking about how you kind of go from not being being alone to moving towards the energy of a partnership. If you are already partnered, this is talking about finding clarity in a way that you have not had before. So perhaps the relationship has gone through a very difficult time, and you're trying to make some decisions or gain some clarity about what you want this thing to look like as you go forward. But either way, even with the Two of Cups and the Lovers card side by side, the thrust, if you will, of the reading is this finding this clarity, that literally that, triumph over adversity. I'm sorry. It is about knowing your head and your heart and your thoughts and being clear about them, and then knowing that when you get this accomplished, the Chariot will step into place and will start moving things forward for you. It is a very rare relationship that happens when you really are not ready for one. I'm not saying it doesn't ever happen. I'm just saying it's rare. And this has all to do with energy. But I'm also reminded of another expression, which is that love always happens when you're not looking for it. So why is that? Well, maybe it's because energetically, there is no sense of something that is missing. There is a sense of completeness with who you are and how you're living and how your life is going. And when you are content and when you are happy, and basically when you are in love with yourself, with your life, with what goes on in your world, that tends to be when you attract love, as opposed to when you just want it and that's your focus, and you're waiting and you're waiting. It's very rare that comes. So one of the things, again, this is talking about is you finding where your head is and where your heart is, and the promise that once that is created, the universe will start creating the energies and moving that energy towards you. And in fact, it's going to move, or it can move, that energy towards you almost more quickly maybe than you realize or are anticipating. I also want to mention with these cards, it's really, really important that you follow your intuition, you follow your instinct, and that is different than following what you want, okay? But once we make these sort of decisions, the universe energetically kicks into gear, and it will send you messages about sort of the direction you should go in or the steps you should take. So if all of a sudden, you get a really strong kind of urge out of nowhere to join a particular club or go to a particular coffee shop or the library or whatever, you should heed that intuition, because I've checked, I've lived a long life, and never once have I heard and or experienced that Prince Charming shows up to your door unannounced with roses in their hand. You have to be out there, you have to be available, you have to be be open to receiving that kind of a relationship. Alrighty, there's that. All right, look at the light blue and see where this takes us. Seven of Cups, Four of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Artist. So for those of you who might be new to this channel, or perhaps have never received this card, so I want to tell you about it. Okay, so first of all, the deck is the Eternal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes. Okay. It is a standard tarot deck, as you can see, but they added 2 cards to the end of it, 2 high arcana cards to the end of it. One is the Well, and one is the Artist, and you have received the Artist. So the Artist is about opening yourself up to the knowledge, the wisdom, the insights that are available to you when you can step away kind of from the crazy of life. You can shut down the noise and the chatter and turn inward. That is when you will have access to the wisdom. People who get this cards are often like visionary. They are creative. They're passionate. They have something in their world that they are passionate about. Okay, so just so you understand, that's the sort of the broad meaning of that card. Now, what the rest of these cards are showing, Seven of Cups, Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. This is talking about almost like being in a state of confusion or almost stuck energy. Sort of like, you know, there's too many options and you're not sure which is the best choice to make, which is the right direction to go in. And just by virtue of the fact that there's a few too many options, you find yourself almost like stagnated because you can't find that clarity that you're looking for to create the silence to receive the insights and the visions, okay? Or the vision. So it feels very much like either you are in this state or you are just pulling out of it, because you're going from the Seven of Cups to the Four of Pentacles. And so the Four of Pentacles is often about just being, it's not stuck as much as it's cautious or scared to move forward, or perhaps not trusting the talents and the gift you have. Perhaps there is sort of a fear connected to, you know, kind of putting yourself out there and you know, being rejected. And normally, or more often than not, you're not rejected, but it is the fear that kind of holds you. It keeps you kind of a little bit, you know, kind of frozen. So sometimes this card can mean, you know, being miserly, like, you know, just holding on so tight to what you have that if your both hands are tight holding on, you don't have open hands to receive anything else. Next, you've got the Knight of Wands. Okay, so this is more of kind of a vibrant energy. It often talks about a change of home or perhaps taking a journey. And then, of course, you have the Artist. So this is how this comes together. You are moving from a place or a mental state where you have been unable or unwilling to make sort of concrete or definitive decisions. And listen, sort of coming out of COVID and all of those, you know, that time in hibernation, this is not an unusual state for people to be in, okay? And you're being asked basically at this point to set aside the worry, the fear, the concern that your fears are amplifying. And it is time to move forward. Now, some of you may literally be changing homes. You may be selling or looking for a new place to live. But in this reading, in the context of this reading, it almost feels like, I want to say, like, gearing up, energizing yourself so that you are ready to move forward from your safe space, from that home energy where you can dig in and cocoon and keep the world at bay. Because there is something that you need to perhaps share, perhaps explore. Perhaps it is something that you have put off for a really long time, and it's time now for you to move forward. It's time now for you to go still, which is not the same as cocooning in place. But find the energy to move from where you're at now, that sort of indecisive, stuck energy, and go to a place where you can turn off the noise. And whether that noise is coming from outside and the people around you, or whether that noise is coming from kind of like your own fears, turn it off and go still. Ask your heart what you need to see. Ask your higher self, where does my passion lie? And be still long enough to hear the answer. And then more than that, because of the Knight of Wands, know that it is time to move forward. A lovely journey ahead. Okay, and let's look at the dark blue. The Empress, Seven of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Star. These are all, the readings are interesting because they're all sort of, well, they appear or seem to be kind of on different topics or aspects of life. There is a sort of a theme about sort of honoring yourself, finding yourself, being prepared to move forward. So this is what these cards are talking about. You have that Empress energy, or you are moving into a time where the Empress energy gains strength and momentum. So the Empress is about springtime. It is about rebirth. It is about new beginnings. It is about expansion. It is about birthing new ideas, new ways of doing things, bringing life into different areas of your world. The Seven of Wands is interesting here because it almost feels a little bit like kind of feeling a bit defensive about what you're looking at or what you're thinking the direction might be that you want to go in. There is sort of a sense of having to kind of push back a little bit against people who are almost making you defend yourself or the way you're looking at things. Or perhaps they aren't doing that as much as you are feeling defensive in case they do. The King of Pentacles is about, sort of that stable, masculine, secure energy. It is about taking care of the things that you need to take care of, putting things in place, in order, finding the security or the stability. Because you know there's a feeling inside you, just bubbling, just, simmering, that is about change and growth and expansion and the need to sort of shake up your life, or the need to bring more or different energy into your life. You can feel it. And so you need to kind of drop some of the defenses. And frankly, if you're feeling that you have to explain yourself, so you explain yourself once, but you don't need to keep repeating yourself. People will either support you or not. But you will know that you're taking care of business. And you have the star. So the star, of course, is that ever optimistic card about, your dreams and your hopes and the things you want to achieve, the things that you're passionate about, the things that fire you up. It's very interesting that you have the Empress and the Star sort of bracketing the two center cards, isn't it? Because this is about your hopes and dreams, and this is expansion. So it's talking literally about giving some serious thought, frankly, to where your passion is, to what your dreams are, to what you want in your world or in certain aspects of your life. And the Empress is telling you that this is a good time to move forward. It is a good time to expand, bring in new life. So, all in all, this reading is literally talking about kind of going after your dreams, figuring out what they are, or refocusing on them perhaps, and knowing that this is a good time to move forward. All righty. So, thank you so much for being here for your Pick Your Crystal reading for the week of May 1st to May 7th. Have a fabulous week ahead. Bye for now.